Hey everyone, this is Damon Mason. Once again, thank you for watching my YouTube channel DM9. Guys, I'm almost at the end. This is episode number 4, and episode number 4 is called The Big Boys. Now, the Big Boys, guys, is when I played for the Class A's 13 and 14-year-old guys. I thought I made a name for myself. I made the All-Star team at the age of 12. I've hit 2 home runs. I mean, I felt like I had arrived. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I'm playing football. I made a name for myself at St. John Parish. Like, granted, football and baseball was like night and day for me. Football was my sport. I fell in love with football, but still, when you grew up in St. John Parish at that time for us was the baseball city. You had so many guys who played baseball. Even you heard about Louis Lips, who played baseball, who was a receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You heard about Gerald Williams, who played for four All-Stars as well as Louis Lips. And Gerald is now finally got his opportunity to play for the New York Yankees. You know what I'm saying? So there are a lot of guys in St. John Parish that came through St. John Parish who were some outstanding baseball players. Now I feel like I was one of them. So I'm 13, playing for the Class A's, the Big Boys, where it used to be head coach was C.J. Watkins, Mr. Watkins. But he relinquished that job to Terry Charles. Terry T.C. Charles was the head coach of the Big Boys, and another individual who we heard a lot about. More so when he was at Grambling University was Shug Watkins was our assistant coach. And now, man, we had a handful of talented baseball players to play with the Class A's 13, 14-year-old baseball team around my time. Of course, that was myself, Romel Anthony, Lindell Dusty Smith, Oman Anderson, Mandori Smith, Derwin Mealy. You had Jermaine T-Boy Roussel, Richard Tricky Dick Martin. I know I'm missing some. We had Lil James, Minnie Boo, James Caesar. I'm trying to think, guys, but I'm not up Fernell. I think Fernell didn't play, but he probably did play. Fernell Riley. So needless to say, guys, there was a lot of individuals that came through the Class A's Big Boys when I finally made the Big Boys at the age of 13. But needless to say, as I say at the end of episode 3, I thought I had arrived, but I found myself having to prove myself all over again. Because you heard me say one name, Richard Tricky Dick Martin. I love him like a brother. But we had some guys who played in reserve when we was younger. I didn't know a lot of these guys when I was younger. And Tricky Dick was one of them, but then he decided to come play for Laplace, and I played third base and Trick played third base, so it became a battle on who was going to play third base. Now guys, if you remember, episode number 3 was called Taking Advantage of Opportunities. This is episode number 4, which is called The Big Boys. But guys, The Big Boys, once again, was still about me taking advantage of opportunities. Also, we had, of course, my big cousin was playing at that time with the Big Boys, was Vance Jones. You know what I'm saying? So, man, it's that year, that at the age of 13 was a trying time for me because, again, I feel like there's a lot of favoritism. I had to prove myself. But rightfully so, as I've always said, each episode, everyone was good, equally good to their own right. And I was willing to do anything to play. Well, Tricky Dick, Richard Martin, and myself both played third base. And if you let Terry Charles would say, man, I got 2 of them on third base. One could catch and one can't throw. I think I could throw, but I couldn't catch. Trick could catch, but he couldn't throw. He was always overthrowing first base. Now, the issue I had was I was not the best hitter. But the best thing I had going for me since the age of 10, 11, and 12 with the little boys, I was fast, I could bunt, I was the best base stealer in the parish, and Guerrero Anderson kind of taught me everything I needed to know at an early age. So now I'm with the Big Boys, and still I was the fastest, I could bunt, I was the best bunter, and I could steal bases like better than anybody. But you know, that was a dime a dozen. And I felt like Terry was giving a lot more favoritism toward Richard. I don't like saying Richard. He's Tricky Dick to me. towards Trick than myself. And again, it's a trying time. So not only was I trying to prove myself on my own team, oh, and we had Kenny Jackson play with us. That's very relevant. So myself and Fernell Riley did play because Freddie Jackson, I mentioned his name on I think episode 2. But Freddie called me CB. No, Fernell Riley was CB and I was CB Jr. You know, I told you I was a crybaby, and so Freddie Jackson gave us that nickname, Crybaby and Crybaby Jr. And Fernell and myself played with the little class age, 13 and 14-year-olds, along with his son, Kenny Jackson, and that's when he gave us that name, CB and CB Jr. I wanted to make sure I acknowledge that, man. Rest in peace, Freddie. Been going a long time, but he was a man, another man amongst all the men who used to tell us about ourselves and kept it straight with us and kept us in check. So proving myself all over again. I look forward to guys not showing up, and so some of the things that took place at that time was, again, my cousin Vance and I was reminiscing earlier. And Vance had all the talent, but Vance didn't want to play baseball. He wanted to play baseball, but he also wanted to do other things. And he would actually find ways to not come to a game. And me being who I was not going to try to talk him out of it, because I felt like, well, if Vance don't show up, that's an opportunity for me to start. Or if somebody else didn't show up for whatever reason, that was an opportunity for me to start and show what I can do and to make a name for myself and prove myself. Because there was no guarantee that when you go to a game like it is today, where everybody has to play, it was not like that back in those days. You know, and I don't know how it went, but I honestly felt that for some reason I was not well liked, and 9 times out of 10 I was not going to play unless we was beating somebody by a lot. And that was hard for me to swallow at the age of 13 after going through that at the ages of 10, 11, and then proving myself at 12, only to have to prove myself all over again at 13. Again, learning experiences. So someone like Vance trying not to come to a game and hide and stuff like that, I look forward to that opportunity to play. And most of the time it didn't work out for me. And then one event that a lot of guys always miss was Holy Family. And one particular Saturday, Tricky Dick didn't show up for a game because he went to Holy Family, and I had the opportunity to start on third base, and I never relinquished it for 2 years. So needless to say, the opportunity came. I proved myself. I made the All-Star team once again because we was good. We were really good, the LaPlace A's big boys. Now that you had the original Dodgers and those guys from LaPlace A's playing, there was only one big boys in LaPlace at the time, and we ran the show. We ran the tables. You know what I'm saying? So needless to say, Terry Charles and Wayne Watkins had the opportunity to pick the majority of the All-Star team from the LaPlace A's, which again I felt was the only way I was going to make the team, because of the numbers that was going to be chosen from our team. But unfortunately that year we went, and then not only did we went to the All-Star that year, we actually went through the district, beating people like Johnny Bright, I forgot, Mike Miley, you know what I'm saying? And we're not playing Dixie U at the time, we playing Dizzy Dean. So unlike Dixie U, if I'm not mistaken, had bi-district, then district, then you had regionals, you had so many different levels. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we only had like 2 different levels, like district, and then state. And we won the state and was honored to go to the World Series for the first time as Ford, representing the state of Louisiana, representing St. John Parish, representing the river parishes. But to our disliking, the World Series was right there in Kenner at Mus Bertolina Park, behind Esplanade Mall, in that area. If I'm not mistaken, John Curtis spent a lot of time over there. Now guys, I want y'all to remember that now. Our first, at the age of 13, we represented the state of Louisiana for Dizzy Dean. And we was upset because it was right there in Kenner, which meant we couldn't stay in the hotel, which meant we couldn't swim in the pool because we all stayed at home, blah, blah, blah. Now, besides that, I barely played throughout the All-Star season and even in the World Series. I became more of a utility guy, stealing bases and making a name for myself, stealing bases and of that running bases. You know what I'm saying? But whatever I could do to get on the field, that's what on a diamond, that's what I did. And we ended up losing out that year, the first state to lose out. Double elimination, we lost our first 2 games, and needless to say, it was close games, you know. But it was a learning experience. A lot of us made a name for ourselves, but needless to say, you know, we couldn't wait to come back the next year and try to run the tables again at the age of 14. Now, besides, you guys hear me talk a lot about baseball. You heard me introduce myself about football, and I said I'm 13. So now, by this time at 13, I'm dominating on the football field in St. John Parish. You know, the St. John Panthers are no more. Vernon Bailey took over that program, and he transformed it to the, I don't know if it was the St. John or the Place Reserve or whatever, but we were the Rough Riders, and that was an experience in itself. But still, I'm dominating on the football field, 13, 14, 11, and 12, and because I was good enough at the age of 10, 11, and 12 playing with 13 and 14-year-old, when I was still playing with 13 and 14-year-old, but then they finally created a 10, 11, and 12-year-old. You know, I was doing stuff that had people questioning my age and stuff like that, even though I was only 12 and 13 years of age. So I had a lot to look forward to after baseball season, and again, the frustration that I had from any kind of frustration I encountered during baseball season, it carried over to football season for me, where I was able to unleash it, you know. But at the same time, guys, I want to talk about the school system. You know, I mentioned elementary, I mentioned middle school, but at the age of 13, if I'm not mistaken, we're maybe in 7th grade now. We're all at Leon Gacho Junior High School, and the news is traveling about how good I was on the football field. You know, granted, by this time you had people like Randy Brown who went to John Curtis. You know, you had Darryl Nicholas, you had Harold Williams, you have Leroy Williams, you know, to name a few, Courtney Mitchell. You had guys like that who was already at East St. John High School. Now, Tariq Grover was our age, but his birthday came a little bit before us. I don't know how that went, but Tariq was like a year ahead of us as far as high school. So he was already at the high school. So what I'm trying to say is there was a lot of guys at high school already at East St. John before we was gonna get there. Where East St. John still did never win the state championship, but these guys, we know they had all the talent in the world, but for some reason, when they get to high school, either everybody don't play, you know, people like Randy Brown went to another school, you know, they just could not put it together at that particular time, but at that time, we all at Leon Gacho, the Place is Reserve Phillies and Garyville Pirates, we all at Leon Gacho competing and talking trash to each other. You know, sometimes it got heated, you know what I'm saying, because nobody wanted to lose, nobody wanted to be talked about that much. But we all had one thing in common, that, you know, we all wanted to go to the same high school and win state championship. You know, at the age of 13, man, it came to an end, losing out in the World Series. But in football, I was able to do what I did best on the football field, was take out that frustration. But now we're in junior high and we're getting closer to high school, so we start preparing for some things. So besides sports, as I was saying, guys like myself, Romel, Dusty, Mandori Smith, Kenneth Jackson, you know, we were in the band. And believe it or not, besides baseball and a little bit of football, marching in the band at Leon Gacho Junior High School was the best next thing besides playing sports in the parish for a young black kid, a young black boy like myself. And we look forward to that because we didn't have sports in the junior high at that time. When I was in 13 years of age, as a 7th grader, which, if I'm not mistaken, probably 1986, 86, 87. So, but guys, that's about it for the age of 13. The next episode, you know, we'll as I say, I'm starting to wrap this up. So guys, it was short and sweet. A lot of stuff came before here was lengthy, but I wanted to set the stage. So guys, thank you for taking the time out and listening. Again, if you like, please hit the like button and subscribe button. And until next time, guys, D Mason out from DM9. Peace.